Hi guys, welcome back, and as you can tell from the title, today's video is a tag! Yay! So, the tag today is the Throne of Glass character book tag, originally created by G-Swizz over at G-Swizzle. She is amazing, and I love her so much. I discovered her channel like a couple months ago, and I went on a binge watching so many of her videos. Highly suggest you go check her out. Her channel and her original video will be linked down below. And I was tagged by Francesca. She didn't tag me in her video, but she tagged me on Twitter. So I am so excited to be tagged in this. I've never been tagged in a book tag before. This is my first one and I'm so excited. So without further ado, let's jump in. Firstly, I have a disclaimer to give, is that I have not read the Throne of Glass series. You would know this if you watched my 5-star prediction video, where I obviously predicted that the Throne of Glass will be a 5-star, either one book or series for me. I have not tried it out. I'm going to try it out hopefully before the end of the year. So, I will seem dumb by some of these characters. I will not pronounce their names right. I already know this. So, yes, without further ado, let's jump in. So, number 1 is Selena de Sardothan, a kick-ass protagonist that had a rough start in life. And for this, I went with Ismay from the Grave Mercy from the His Fair Assassin series. Now, Ismay had a very rough start to life. Firstly, her father wanted her mother to abort her. She had a very difficult birth process, like as she was coming out. She is a daughter of Mortain. She's marked by death. She was sold off, basically, to a pig farmer at the age of 16, just, you know, for money, because her dad didn't like her. So she definitely had a rough start in life, but she turned out amazing, and I love her, and I highly suggest you read this series. So, number 2, Dorian, a flirty character you cannot help but love. And there are so many I could have gone with this. I could have gone with 4, I could have gone with Finnick. Well, 4 wasn't really flirty. Okay, I could have gone with Stark from the House of Night series, but for this one, I went with Rhysand from the ACOTAR series. Rhysand is just, when I first met him in here, obviously with ACOTAR, I was just like, Tamlin is bae, Tamlin is everything. And when you first meet Rhysand, I was just like, okay, Rhysand, whoever you are, you need to take like 1,000 steps back, because Feyre is Tamlin's and you need to knock it off. And then obviously I read A Court of Mist and Fury, and if you already know from my villain video why I hate Tamlin, then yeah. That's when I really started to love Rhys. Not even then. I started to love Rhys towards the end of this. He was just amazing. So, after that, number 3 is Cole. I hope I'm saying that name right. Probably not. Probably butchering it. A good character with a dark and moody side. And for that, I went with Mortain from Mortal Heart, which is from, again, the His Fair Assassin series. I highly suggest you read. But yes, Mortain as the god of death in this series, and he's the literal god of death, and he's a real person, and he's amazing. Like, I can't even begin to explain how awesome he is, but oh my goodness, I can't even, like, Mortain he's such a good character, and like, he obviously has a dark and moody side. He's the god of death. How could he not have a dark and moody side? But yes, I'm going with Mortain. So number 4 has spoilers for the goodness gracious, for the Throne of Glass series. So if you've not read the series, or if you've not, I think they said Crown of Midnight. If you have not read that, leave now. And I will not give you any spoilers. So yes. Or you can just mute the video, and when I hold up 5 again, you can come back and turn your volume up. But yes, so spoilers starting now. So Princess Naima, sorry, a character that had so much potential that was killed off too soon. And Anna said Finnick, which, oh my goodness, yes, I totally totally agree. But I tried not to copy her too much. I did kind of copy her in this, but I tried not to copy her too much, even though I agreed with so many of her answers, and I just wanted to be like, yes, I agree, I'm going to use this in mine. But no, I had to be original. I had to come up with my own. So for this, I went with, where's my book? Sorry. I went with Tom, who is not a main character. He's like a side character. Benny is our main character, and Tom is Benny's older brother. And Tom, spoiler alert, dies at the end of book 2. So that was very kind of like heartbreaking for me, because I'd grown to love him, or I didn't grow to love him. I loved him right away. Tom was just amazing in this book series. So when he died and when he was killed, murdered, it was seriously heartbreaking for me. And I bawled for a good half hour after that and continued to keep crying for the next couple hours after that. So yeah. So number 5, you can come back now and turn up your volume. The King of Adarlan. I'm sorry, I'm butchering that. Slash Maeve. So when G Swizz updated this, she added the slash Maeve part, or Maeve, I don't know. I'm sorry. So she added that part. But who is your favorite villain? So there is a bunch. If you watched my top 5 villains, you know that there's just 5 there. And I have so many more, and I could have gone with one I didn't put on the list, but I decided to go with one I put on the list, and that is President Snow from the Hunger Games. And President Snow, whoo, what can I say about him that I haven't already? Or what can I say about him that doesn't involve using very naughty words? Yes, President Snow is an evil, evil man. Killing kids. But not technically killing them. He's making them kill themselves. But yes, still very, very evil. He's definitely, but I still love him. He's definitely a very well written out villain. President Snow, y'all. So, Rowan, your favorite love interest. And again, I went with Mortain. There were so many good love interests I could have gone with, but I loved Mortain so much. He was such an amazing love interest in this, and I seriously cannot begin to describe him and how amazing. Like I said, he's the god of death. But he can travel the world. He travels the world with his Harley Quinn hunt. So that's what we get in here. Is him traveling the world, and he meets Annette, who is our main character in this book. And they end up falling in love, and it's a very, 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 very long roller coaster, and she doesn't even know it's Mortain at first. It's very confusing. So, but yes, my favorite love interest is Mortain. There's so many more, but Mortain is definitely one of my favorites. So, Aidion is number 7. Your favorite bookish relative, and oh my goodness, I could go with Benny again from this, but I'm not. I'm going to go with Nesta from the ACOTAR series. Nesta's just absolutely amazing. Like, oh my god, she's so sassy, and she's so rude, and she's so amazing, and oh my gosh, ignore that. She's just so awesome, and I love her so much, even though she's just such a B word to Feyre, but she was just, I loved her. I don't know why, especially since she was so evil, but she also kind of loved her sister, obviously, in a very weird way. So yes, Nesta is one of my favorite bookish relatives. But like I said, I could have gone with Benny, or I could have gone with Tom, I could have gone with any of the Cullens, I could have gone with so many. Manon Blackbeak is number 8. Your favorite anti-hero. And for this, I went with Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games. Katniss is such an anti-hero. She did not want to be the hero. You can tell that definitely at the end of Catching Fire and the beginning of Hunger Games, when she finds out that, you know, they want her to be the star of a revolution, and that's why they saved her and not Peeta. And she does not want it. She doesn't care. She wanted Peeta to be saved. She did not. Peeta was worth saving, and she was not, in her opinion. And obviously, I disagree with that very much. We needed Katniss. Obviously that's the way it was written, but no, seriously, she's definitely an anti-hero. She just wanted to save her sister. She didn't want her sister to die in the Hunger Games, which seriously Prim would have. At that age, before she knew anything, Prim would have died. She would have been one of the first ones killed off, and Katniss just wanted to save her sister, and she did not want to become an icon in a political revolution to be used. But that's what ended up happening, so yeah, I digress. Abraxas, your favorite bookish noble steed, or even a pet. And for this, I went with Nala, Zoe Redbird's cat from the House of Night series. Nala is seriously such an amazing pet in here. She's described as just like an old grumpy lady, and it fits perfectly for the way PC and Kristen have written her, because Nala doesn't meow, she like meows, and that's how it's like written out, is like meow. And she is like constantly meowing and like complaining at Zoe, and it's just, she's just so amazing. She's just such an amazing cat, and I want my cat to complain to me when I get one. I do. Excuse me while I turn my page. 10, Asterion. I hope I'm saying that right. A character that is loyal. And there were a few I could have chose for this, but I went with Grover from the Percy Jackson series, as Grover was always loyal to Percy. Like, seriously, through thick and thin. Even when he barely knew Percy. No, I guess that's not true. I was thinking, like, you know, when they first got to camp and everything, but they were friends even before, when they were in school at the beginning. But he's such a loyal friend to Percy. Even when he knows Percy's doing something stupid and dumb, he's gonna go along with him, and he's gonna make sure he doesn't die from that stupid dumb thing he's doing. So yes, Grover. So 11, Lysandra, a character that grew on you. And seriously, this one had to grow on me. And a lot of people are probably most definitely gonna disagree, but for me, that was Will Herondale from the Clockwork Angel, from the Infernal Devices series. I didn't hate Will at the beginning. I was rather entranced with him when we first meet him, and he just barges in, and I liked him. But he really had to grow on me, because he's just, throughout the book, he just turns mean to Tessa, and he keeps changing his mind, and that would really anger me. So he had to grow on me. I had to find out who he truly was, and, you know, and find out his reason for being so mean and hurtful to everybody, to find out, like, you know, oh, this is why. And then he grew on me. I loved Will by the end. He was definitely not my favorite character of the series. Definitely not. I had so many other favorites. But I loved Will by the end. I did. So, 12. Elaid, a character that is always hopeful, even in the worst circumstances. And I'm going to hold this one up again. Can you guess who it is? Can you guess? Mr. Percy Jackson himself. Because from what I can remember, it's been almost 2 years since I read the series. Percy Jackson was always hopeful, even in like times of almost certain death. He was just like, nah guys, it's gonna be cool, we're gonna get saved, I'll figure it out. And you know, most of the time he did. But in times where I would have been screaming and crying for my mommy, he was just like, I got this, we're gonna do it. You know, he took down a Titan, for crying out loud. He took down Mother Earth, for crying out loud. Like, and he just kind of, even in certain death, he's just like, we're good, I got this. So Elaine, I'm gonna say, a character who has gone through extensive change / character development. And for this one, I could have done a few. I could have done Feyre. I could have honestly done Zoe. I could have done Katniss. I could have done a bunch of, I don't know why I'm just saying women, but I could have done a bunch of characters for this. But I chose Tessa Gray from the Infernal Devices series, because from the beginning, Tessa is a prim proper girl who balks at the sight of Charlotte wearing her Shadowhunter gear, wearing pants. She's just like, oh my gosh, that's not proper for a woman, how dare, you know. It's just, and then by the end, you know, even by the, like, not even the middle of the second one, she's so used to wearing her gear while she's training, and she's just like, oh yeah, this is my life now. And then she goes from this prim proper little girl who would never ever dream of fighting to taking on one of the most evil men. Honestly, why did I not include him in my villains list? Why didn't I include him on... Excuse me, sorry, I'm talking to myself. Anyways, but yes, Tessa Gray has such character development. I instantly thought of her, honestly. And then afterwards, I was like, oh, I could have done this, but I stuck with Tessa. So, number 14 is Fleetfoot, a character who stays safe no matter what circumstances are thrown at them. And honestly, I looked at my answer here because I wrote it all down, and I laughed again because I copied Anna, who tagged me in this. I'm going to mention that again. I'm sorry. I'm just so happy about being tagged. But yes, I'm going to copy her because this worked perfectly. And I could have copied Gis was his first answer for when she did this tag. She chose Church from the Infernal Devices series, and honestly, I agree. But I had to follow Anna, and I had to go with Buttercup because this cat had a bomb. There was a bomb in District 12, like, and the cat lived. The cat freaking lived through bombs. And I mean, that was just, because it's not like a character who is safe at the end. It's a character who is always stayed safe no matter what throughout the series. And seriously, that was Buttercup. Buttercup became unscathed by everything, and that cat was just amazing. So definitely Buttercup. So these two are bonus questions that Jesus added when she updated it. And 15 is Lorcan, your favorite morally gray character. And for this, I went with Kelowna from the House of Night. So if you've read this series, you definitely know that Kelowna is extremely gray. I'm not even gonna say, yeah, he's extremely morally gray. Like, Kelowna is introduced as a very evil man, person, creature, whatever you want to call him. And he's a good guy. He really is. There were just circumstances that led up to his turning evil that kind of made him evil. But he wants to do good. Oh God, it's so hard to explain, especially without giving away spoilers. But yes, Kelowna is one of my favorite morally gray characters. And lastly, but definitely not least, is Irene. Name an underrated gem of a character. And there were a few that I could have done. But the first one that came to mind was Charlotte. Ow! Sorry, guys. Was Charlotte Fairchild from the Infernal Devices series. Honestly, Charlotte made this series for me. And you know, like when you were reading Harry Potter, you were reading Diversion, you were reading The Hunger Games, you were sorting yourself into the districts, into like the houses, and Game of Thrones, you're sorting yourself into, you can't tell me you're not sorting yourself into the family houses there. I like to sort myself, so I like to be like, oh, what family would I be a part of? And I definitely was a Fairchild for so many different reasons. Just the traits. I wanted to be a Fairchild because, like, I like to think of this, like, because I like to write fan fiction, and I just like to always think of stuff in a story aspect. So, like, if I was in here, I would definitely want to be able to say that Charlotte Fairchild, Charlotte Branwell, was my ancestor. And she was so amazing, and so, like, if I was in the Mortal Instruments, which obviously, at the time that was written, that's the age series that I would be in, I would be able to say that, you know, yeah, she was my ancestor, she was absolutely amazing. But yes, so definitely an underrated gem of a character is Charlotte. I don't hear enough people talk about her. She is definitely underrated. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it's so long. There were so many questions, and I probably went into too many explanations about the characters. I could have just said them. But now is the part where I get to tag people. And I'm going to tag 7 people, and obviously you guys don't have to do this, obviously. But I would love to see your answers. You don't even, like Anna told me, you don't even have to have read the series. She didn't read the series and she did it. You just, unless you're not okay with that one little spoiler. But I found this extremely fun. It made me think really hard. So I tag Alyssa Morley from Alyssa Morley. That's her channel's name. And I hope I said your name right. I'm sorry. And I will list all these channels down below. I tag Diana from Book Bestie D, or Book Club Bestie D, sorry. Megan from Frantic Vampire Reads. Molly Strzelki. I probably butchered your last name, Molly, and I'm so sorry. But I'm tagging you. I'm tagging Monica Reads. And I'm tagging, and I'm going to tag Spencer from Spencer Fantastic. And if I think of any more, I will tag you down below. I'll try and tag you on Twitter too. But yes, and I also tag everybody else watching this. If you would love to go out there and make a video of your own, let me know. If you would just like to answer some of my questions in the comments, let me know. So that is it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a like. Remember to subscribe if you would like to. And if you want to get notifications every time I post, you can hit that little bell icon, you know, down here in this little area. I would love that. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. And until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.